Your brain is an absolute marvel, home to 100 billion neurons firing in a perfectly tuned symphony. Every memory you hold dear, every single thought, is all made possible by tiny chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. Think of them as the lifeblood of your brain's communication network. But what happens when that symphony starts to go quiet? Today, we're looking at the biological battleground of Alzheimer's disease. It's a silent war waged against our brain's most essential messengers, and the first casualty is memory itself. We'll explore what exactly goes wrong when these critical lines of communication break down and how science is fighting back.
To really get a grip on the damage Alzheimer's can do, you first have to appreciate how a healthy brain works. Picture a massive, super efficient postal service. Your brain cells, or neurons, are constantly zipping packages of information to each other across tiny gaps called synapses. Those packages, they're the neurotransmitters. When one neuron wants to send a message, it releases a specific neurotransmitter. This little chemical messenger travels across a synapse and plugs into a receptor on the next neuron, just like a key in a lock, delivering its instructions. This happens billions of times a second, letting you think, feel, and remember. One of the most important neurotransmitters for thinking and memory is acetylcholine. You can think of it as a priority male for learning. When you learn something new or recall a favorite moment, acetylcholine is working overtime to make sure those signals are sent loud and clear, especially in the hippocampus, the brain's memory hub. This delicate chemical balance is the foundation of who we are.
Alzheimer's disease starts its silent attack long before any symptoms show up. The main culprits are two proteins that go rogue: beta amyloid, which builds up into sticky clumps called plaques outside of neurons, and tau, which forms toxic tangles inside them. These aren't just bits of debris, they're weapons that actively sabotage the brain's communication grid. The system that produces and uses acetylcholine, the cholinergic system, is one of the first and hardest hit areas. The disease causes the very neurons that make acetylcholine to wither and die. As these production factories shut down, the supply of this crucial messenger plummets. The result is that messages about memory learning are sent less often and with less power, which is why memory loss is one of the first and most recognizable signs of Alzheimer's. But Alzheimer's doesn't just stop at acetylcholine. As the disease marches on, it drags other critical neurotransmitter systems into the fight. One of the next major players to get involved is glutamate. Glutamate is the brain's main go signal. It's an excitatory neurotransmitter that revs up neurons to get them to fire. It's absolutely vital for learning and locking in long-term memories. But in the toxic environment Alzheimer's creates, this system spins out of control. Damaged and dying cells start flooding the synapses with way too much glutamate. Normally, this go signal is kept on a tight leash, but in excess, glutamate becomes toxic in a process called excitotoxicity. This overload causes a massive influx of calcium into the cells, which triggers a destructive chain reaction that damages mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell. Imagine forcing a car's engine to run at maximum RPMs indefinitely. Eventually, it burns out. That's what happens to brain cells, leading to even more damage and cell death. This widespread chaos also creates a ripple effect, disrupting other messengers like serotonin and dopamine, which are key for regulating mood, sleep, and motivation. For example, studies show that Alzheimer's is linked to changes in dopamine-related functional connectivity, which can contribute to both cognitive decline and non-cognitive symptoms like apathy and depression. This is why Alzheimer's isn't just a memory disease, it's something that can profoundly change a person's entire emotional and behavioral world. While there's still no cure for Alzheimer's, scientists have developed clever strategies to reinforce the brain's struggling communication lines. Current treatments mostly focus on rebalancing these disrupted neurotransmitter systems. To combat the acetylcholine shortage, the most common drugs are cholinesterase inhibitors. These drugs act like roadblocks for an enzyme that normally breaks down acetylcholine in the synapse. By blocking that enzyme, the acetylcholine that is left can stick around longer and work more effectively. This helps boost the weakened signal and can improve or stabilize cognitive symptoms for a while. To counter the toxic flood of glutamate, another medication called memantine is often used. It works by acting as a shield for neuron receptors, blocking them from glutamate's toxic overstimulation. This helps protect the cells from excitotoxic damage and help preserve neuron function, especially in the moderate to severe stages of the disease. The story of Alzheimer's in the brain is a story of communication breakdown. It's a disease that systematically silences the brain's symphony of neurotransmitters, starting with memory messenger acetylcholine, and then creating a toxic imbalance of glutamates and other crucial chemicals. While today's treatments can help reinforce these failing systems, the real hope is in ongoing research. Scientists are now developing groundbreaking therapies that target the root cause of the disease, like the beta amyloid plaques themselves. New antibody infusion treatments such as lecanemab and donanemab have been approved that can clear amyloid plaques and have been shown to moderately slow the progression of the disease in its early stages. Understanding this complex war inside the brain is the very first step toward finally winning. If you or someone you know is affected by Alzheimer's disease, you are not alone. For more information, support, and the latest research, please visit the Alzheimer's Association at alc.org or the National Institute on Aging at alzheimers.gov. This channel operates on a non-profit basis to make science accessible for all. If you appreciate our work and want to help us continue, please consider supporting us on Patreon for just $5 a month. Every dollar we receive goes directly to Doctors Without Borders to aid their life-saving missions worldwide. Your support means the world to us. Thank you for watching.